Shihideo, Shihideo, Tokyo Ghoul is back. It is in back. Yo, what is good, everybody? Yo, is anyone else excited that Tokyo Ghoul Re is back? Because I honestly need to know, because all of the haters out there, I understand you're mad. You're so angry that they're doing Tokyo Ghoul Re the way that they're doing it, but what you need to understand is just by them doing this, just by them showing us that there is a market out there for this show, if it blows up like the first season did, or if it just blows up in general and it does really well, they're going to do some reconsidering. And that's the best thing about people who think they're doing better by boycotting and by all these other things like talking trash or trying to get a group of people to yell out screw Tokyo Ghoul, all these different things. Whatever makes you happy, you should do it. And I do not care, regardless of what these people are doing. I honestly just don't care. Oh my god, she is huge. But I say that to say this. This episode was dope. I love me some Tokyo Ghoul Re. I am one of the masses of people that were smart enough to give myself enough space and room to be able to freely choose how I feel about this show. And I think that should have gone for a lot of people, but because you read the manga, because you know things from a light novel, I 10,000% understand why you're angry and frustrated with the rush of this show. It's like if they rushed How Not to Summon a Demon Lord or Overlord, I would be super angry too. But those series as well, I did not get into the light novels and manga for this certain reason. Lots of people have done this, reading ahead or, reading the true source material that is supposed to be, right out of the author's mouth, can really mess up the perspective and the image that they get in the anime when they can't fully go to those types of means, when they can't necessarily go all the way into the dark things that should happen or even into every small detail. But from what we get from this episode, we automatically kind of learn that the one-eyed King Ghoul is definitely, the owl's daughter. And of course, we get like this weird, I'm not saying the show is perfect by any means, but it's Tokyo Ghoul, okay? Like, it's something that I want to give a chance, even if no one else gives a chance. And to see all of these little miniature flashbacks and all of these tie-ins to fill in the blanks on certain characters that maybe these things were flushed out a lot earlier, like Rize and the father that destroyed Kamiki when he smelled Rize on him, like as if he ate her and like swims around in her blood or something, so he was just super angry to just all of a sudden feel every single present of his daughter, quote unquote, as seemingly coming from a guy that he's never met before and a guy who just broke into his prison to supposedly break him out and free him, and try to make him be on his side. So it just didn't work out too well. So it was cool to see just a little bit of how that relationship bloomed a little bit. It was also really weird to think that this felt like it was in the past and the present at the same time, with the white-haired guy with the glasses asking for Rize, like, where is she? Almost as if they don't remember that they used all of her body parts to bring back a human. So that was the weirdest part. And I mean, it could have been that was the way he was captured and, taken in, but it didn't make sense on the top of he A has been freed for one thing, in the previous season, and B, if this is him, being attacked and showing us how he got in there, the guy with the white hair and the glasses, his last name starts with an A, uh, but all of a sudden he's the one who's kind of in a position to be like, well, we're exterminating you, like we're not capturing you, we're not taking you into custody. We are literally going to exterminate and kill you. And if you guys remember from the previous season that we actually met this guy, he is the one who pretty much he was like hairless at that time, and to see him now, he has a full-on beard and all this other stuff, this facial stuff that clearly takes time to grow. So the way that they did that fight and the way that they kind of were going about it, it didn't make sense. But I'm pretty sure if anyone's watching this that has a problem, or some people that are actually kind and don't just want to be, come off like an ass, they can correct me in the comments down below. But I'm pretty sure this was like the last scene we're seeing of this guy after this, because of just how everything unfolded. And I think this is just a good way to flesh out some of these very powerful characters that could take out a one-eyed ghoul that, supposedly all one-eyed ghouls are stronger than all ghouls. But this man was in his jail cell working out and stuff, using his Kagane to hold himself upside down. He's not even touching the ground anymore because his power is working overtime. So it was really cool to see him again, and I was very questionable about him when I first ever was introduced to him. I was like, where is this guy? He is broken. He's destroying a one-eyed ghoul that, a lot of people could probably never destroy in an easy fight, but this guy just didn't even get touched by Kamiki, really. And the next thing you know, he's, just gone, and here he is. So that was cool. Kamiki being back, but being the black hair Kamiki is absolutely terrifyingly weird, man. He reminds me of the the white-haired guy with the glasses who we just saw fight in this week's episode. He reminds me of maybe what he was like when he was young or something, like when he just kind of just didn't care. I don't know what it is about Kamiki right now, but he seems so dang cold, and I think it's for a good reason for us, the fans, for Kamiki to really get back to his roots and get back to the people who actually care about him. Hence why I think we saw the rabbit and some of the people who were from Inteku actually getting ready to raid inside of the maximum security, just as these other people are, to go and find their person, the one-eyed king, what's her face, the author, who randomly decides to tell everybody she's a ghoul on TV, which I thought was very interesting for this beginning of this whole episode. And that's where I think people are going to be very mad. It kind of just happened out of the blue. There's this whole entire island of war going on, right? And what happens throughout all of this war in the very beginning, like 5 minutes? We see all the characters we want to see, besides maybe Kamiki fighting on the front line out there. And we see like mostly all the dubs and all the ghouls that we kind of know, and some of the ghouls, more of the ghouls that are on the evil side that we quote unquote call evil compared to the people that we were watching. So yeah, we see all them battling out and stuff, but then it jumps straight back to the time where that's not even taking place, and starts to explain, their own type of story. So the pasting and stuff does feel very foreign in this episode, but that's kind of what Tokyo Ghoul Re has already brought to the table, so that's not surprising to me that this episode didn't feel like it flowed as you would watch a normal anime flow through all the different scenes and all the different stories that they want you to know before getting involved in certain parts. This was just like, oh, here you go, here you go, here you go, we're feeding you this. If you don't understand this, yeah, good luck. They do not hold your hand through any of this, and I think that's what other shows do. They show you flashbacks of what they're about to talk about, and then they talk about it. This show showed us flashbacks and then talked about something completely else, and we get a little hint of something that seemingly is the bigger information, the bigger chunk of things that we need to know, which is V is a certain type of pattern that ghouls have within them. There's V's and then there's other types of patterns in the ghouls. And supposedly, if you're a V, you would not be detected as a ghoul as you would be detected if Kamiki, for instance, walked in. So, no, actually, no, that is not true, because he has Rize's ghoul patterns inside of him. So, someone like the rabbit comes in, or the girl that's captured and Kamaki's helping at the end of the week, those people would be easily found by that pattern thing. But supposedly, there are some people within the organization that are considered to have this V pattern, so they can never be discovered. And who were some of the big names who escaped out of V, or who at least know that have V? And the person that knows all of this is the One-Eyed King herself, giving this information to Kamiki. We learned that it's like a lot of the big name military people, like, for instance, the person who's supposedly going to take care of the tax work once one of these battles are going on. The guy who's pretty much the head of everything. He wasn't the head of everything in the season 2. He was like the guy who was, told by the head to go and do something. And I don't think everybody will remember him, but he was one of the people that got called in after Kamiki was walking around with Hyde, and he was called in to be told about it, and they kind of called in the white-haired guy to handle it. And he was like on the front lines at that point, and now he's just really someone that's so high up that he shouldn't be on the front lines. So that's pretty much where these characters are changing in position when it comes over these years that have gone by. But not only that, we now have to sit by and watch as supposedly these people who have been treating ghouls as if they are not even humans and they're not even people, but we're coming to find out that they're also ghouls, so what does that make them? Does that make them people because they're willing to take out their own kind? Like, it really makes you scratch your head to think of what could these guys have been wanting. If they're ghouls, why was their only goal to target ghouls? And why is it that when they have these ghouls captured, they would use their weapons and stuff, like they would use their actual body parts as weapons and, not care? I think that's a good reasoning to why they knew that the weapons are so worthwhile to make their own, because of something like this, because of people who are the V's who know how strong they are, and they could only imagine that there could be other ones that are getting stronger by slowly eating humans and stuff, that, like the binge eater Rize, she got to eat as much humans as she wants. But someone on this government community probably can only eat as much as they can hide. So, really, really heavy start for episode 1. I want to see just how much hate I'll probably get for this, and not how much just hate, but how much hate Tokyo Ghoul itself will get for this, because, man, I haven't even got to watch the episode today, and I already heard, or not heard it, but I already had read like 3 different hate remarks towards it. So, regardless of how you feel, I hope you can at least give it a chance, or hear out what I have to say to understand why I enjoy it, and maybe you can, put aside your bitterness, or not your bitterness, just your hate towards the anime studio for, pushing out as far out content that they want to, as soon as they want to. But you can also, just take from a different perspective. Like someone from, I've never read or seen any of it. It feels good to still watch this. I can say that. But at the same time, the story is nowhere near perfect, my people. It's not perfect, but it's not horrible that you shouldn't watch it. They're actually not jumping into a crap ton of action just to feed the satiation of, oh, this show's a fighting show. No, like this is a huge build up, and a lot of characters are going to get called out and change a whole landscape of how things were running already. So get ready, everybody. This is going to be a wild final season of Tokyo Ghoul Re, unless we give it the true, patience and actual gratitude. We might get an ending of a season 3 or whatever. However, they're planning on doing Re. But regardless of what they do, I will be here recording it and reviewing it with you guys. So if you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe, because I can't wait to see episode 2 and drop more content for you guys. But with this anime season being over, we got so much coming, and Fairy Tail and Sword Art are definitely 2 shows I want to add to this list of things we talk about. So if you guys are excited about shows like that, also let me know in the comments down below, and I will be ready to talk about them all. So with that, everybody, take care and peace.